Okay, so you wanted to add something?
Just a side note, you generally don't get a choice who you're teaching if you go with a dispatch company.
So you can put...
you can put preferences.
Yeah.
So you can put a preference to say you want to teach elementary, but when you get here you might just be teaching junior instead.
This is very true. That's another thing. So like if you go to your dispatch company, make sure that you make your preferences well known. Like if you want to work in Tokyo, say I want to work in Tokyo. Don't be afraid to be like, hey, I'm okay with wherever, because they will put you wherever. So make sure that you actually say, I want to be in this area, I want to try and teach this group of children.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, if where your priorities lie.
Yeah.
So if you narrow down, I want to be in Tokyo, I want to be in the city, right, urban area, then you're probably not going to have a choice what kind of school you're going to teach. And then also depending on the company that you're with. For example, Borderlink, our dispatch company, specializes more in elementary school, junior high school. Interact specializes more senior high school, junior high school, senior high school, and so on. There's also like the JET program for ALTs from the government. And they usually go for senior high school, right? And also Tokyo area. So if you are able to, you might want to go with the JET program. I have no experience with the JET program. I've never met people with the JET program.
So with the JET program, I mean, it's an interesting experience. I've had like a friend that's gone through JET, and it's great if you can get in. It's quite a difficult thing because, I mean, they're basically taking the cream of the crop. Another thing is that with the JET program, they do have positions in Tokyo and things like that, but a lot of the people get stationed way in the outer wilds.
I know somebody who got stationed in Aomori.
Yeah.
Very tip of this island.
Yeah, exactly. the freezing north there. Yeah. So, like, I think JET, you're going to get better pay with JET, which
about 33% better.
Yeah, at least 33%. Yeah, so it's good to go with them. I mean, you're gonna get the most, not hand holding, but you're gonna get the most guidance from JET and things like that. But it's difficult to get in. So
it should be a first choice. Try for JET first.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it also depends. I mean, for example, I was with Interact. And Interact is because it's a huge company, and they've also gotten bigger. They have also become a little bit more corporate. Yeah. So they're more, elite. And if as soon as you go elite, it also means like expectations are higher. So you will, for example, just simple mistakes at the schools. Usually, maybe even not a biggie, but I can see JET program or Interact, just
being very corporate.
Yeah, just I heard from the school that you did this, or that you said this, and you shouldn't be doing this, or you used like this character for this grade, and that's actually not very good, and it will all add up. And actually, don't trust me, they will actually make a list with everything that you mess up, and it will get back to you. And even if the school is actually happy with you, the JET program or Interact or whatever elite company you're with, they will hold it against you if it goes to extending your contract, or even just finishing your contract. So you might want to think about that twice. So for example, Borderlink, it greatly also depends on the area that you're with. Definitely. So for example, in Nibu area, I think Borderlink's pretty great. And I would definitely recommend for someone coming to Japan for the first time, hey, why not try Borderlink? I mean, it's great. You still get enough support to teach at the school. The things like if you need support from the company, especially because you don't have experience, or especially if you're not confident, you can tell them and they will back you up. I mean, if you mess up, you shouldn't be telling them everything, right? Try to work things out with the schools or with the teachers quickly on location if that's possible, right? But usually if it's just before work starts, or even like, yeah, you should know like when you can depend on your company to back you up and when not.
Yeah, I think the bigger companies are basically just going to be a lot more stiff and regimented. It's going to be a lot more professional, but with that comes the whole downside of you just basically a number, and if you don't follow the checklist that they have for you, you're not going to stay there very long. At least with the other companies, like with Borderlink, you kind of do feel like you're human. You matter to them. Like, so I would recommend that they're a good option to come as. Like, if you do have the opportunity, then I've seen some negative reviews on Glassdoor and things like that. But I mean, honestly, from my experience, they've been a pretty good dispatch company.
That said, I mean, we've all done pretty good work as teachers.
Yeah.
Us three here, so I think...
That's very nice of you to say.
No, really. So, actually, I mean, if you're a bad teacher, I can see the company not treating you as great either, right?
Yeah.
So it all goes hand in hand. So, last year, someone in this area, same area, got laid off because he got in trouble with the school, and Borderlink wasn't really happy with him either, you see. So I think it all goes together. But you know, I think it's actually not that hard to not mess up your work at schools. You know, just be enthusiastic, show that, try to talk to people, and even if you make mistakes, it's totally okay. But if you're like indifferent, or if you're just like ignore work. You know, I mean, if everybody at school is cleaning and you just watch, or you just take out your smartphone and start playing stuff, right? Yeah. That's not, I mean, no matter where you work, that's not really great.
No, exactly. I mean, you have to remember it's still a job. You can't just sit there and play games all the time. But yeah, so I mean, it's definitely true. Kind of the attitude that you put out towards your school and your company and things like that, it's gonna be noticed. So it's definitely good to get like a good first impression too. So when you go to your schools for the first time, always kind of put your best foot forward, you know, dress nice, go to the vice principal, go to the principal, greet them all the time.
Don't use your smartphone, especially at the start. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Like
especially at the start. Actually, you shouldn't do it at all.
Yeah. If you're going to use your smartphone, you're going to have to build up to that type of level. You make sure that other teachers are okay with it. But genuinely, I think you try and avoid it, just purely based on the whole thing. It's a workplace, and it can also get a bit iffy, you know, like some teachers can see you busy playing on your smartphone, and then comments get passed around, oh, this guy's not doing his work, he's just sitting on his smartphone the whole day.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you do that too much, I mean, even the regular Japanese teachers will get called in by the vice principal if they do too much, you know, like private stuff, right? Yeah, but getting back to that, you know, so if you don't want to stick with Tokyo, right, or I want to be in Kyoto, right, in this area. If you're a little bit more vague, right, you can say I want to be, say, in the Tokyo area, or I want to go to the Kanagawa area or Kanto area, right? So if you just go a little bit more vague, you will have a choice of what kind of school you want to go to. So if you want to, if you say elementary school, no thank you, no way.
Yeah, your choices are far more limited.
So you can say junior high school, and if you're a little bit early in the year, by the way, the working year in Japan starts April. You gotta keep that in mind, April, right? So you should see if you're looking to come to Japan, you should start looking January, February.
Yeah,
maybe even earlier. I think because
I got mine in August.
Yeah.
August to start April next year.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, okay. They start looking really early. A lot of teachers will end up saying, I'll have to leave at the end of this year, and then it ends up being from August all the way through until the next year.
Yeah. Okay, sorry.
No problem.
Yeah, so so you might want to keep that in mind. So, but you can, depending on your company and your timing, you can actually make your wishes known, okay? Maybe even if it's the first time to Japan, you might even say like, I don't really care where I am. I just want to be a little bit more in the countryside or more urban or suburban. If you say that, then they will respect that, and you can say like, okay, but junior high school, please. They will arrange that, right? So they're not really usually they're not that inhuman, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it works out fine.
So I picked rural, and pretty much got that.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Yeah, I mean,
I
okay,
didn't expect mine.
this is not like
We're not in the sticks.
Yeah.
But there's not much around here, so
No, definitely.
it's quite rural. It's just how I wanted, close to a place that's not rural, but
Still has
nice
that.
and scenic.
Yeah, exactly.
It's-
Don't underestimate the beauty of the countryside in Japan. Like, genuinely, I think that type of serenity and things is just unmatched. I get Tokyo is exciting and it's really, futuristic. You have all of these conveniences, but being able to go to school, seeing the mountains in the background with like the rice fields, it's something that's it's amazing.
It's like the starting scene of a movie.
Yeah.
He's just walking through rice field, mountains in the distance.
Exactly.
Before he
Yeah.
arrives at the place.
I mean, we are not super rural,
No.
right? I mean, this is not like Sento Chihiro no Kamikakushi. Wait, what's the English title for that movie again? Chihiro. Okay, like like in the Ghibli movies. In the Ghibli movies,
Spirited Away.
where you like a Spirited Away, right?
Yeah.
Spirited Away. So this is not like Spirited Away countryside, right?
Yeah.
Where you have like maybe 30 kids
Oh
of
my
all
God.
ages in one tiny school, right?
Yeah.
But it's still like you said, the countryside. It's a beautiful country,
Mm.
right? There's lots of
Definitely.
things to see, and also the people are different.
Yeah.
I don't know why so many people want to go to Tokyo, but Tokyo is like like a Japanese New York. I mean, it's all about business, and you will have yakuza, shady businesses over there as well. People, just greedy, hentai, right? And I mean, if you love to party, if you have
Yeah.
money to go shopping a lot,
Tokyo's
right?
amazing.
Tokyo maybe of your venue, but it's maybe not the nicest place to get to know Japan from the nicer
Yeah.
side, but it's still an experience, right?
No, definitely.
So
If you want to experience the real Japan, come to like the countryside. If you want to experience New York or any metropolis in general, just go to Tokyo, I think the countryside, you form part of, well, if you make an effort to, you become part of the community and you get to really experience what life in Japan is like. And I think that's a far more valuable experience than going to Tokyo and going to clubs and going to dance parties and going to shopping centers, which you can do in every other metropolis in the world. So you come to Japan for a new experience, and if you want that, take a risk and come to the countryside.
I mean, I walk into some just local shops and I get conversations with the cashiers, and you won't get that in Tokyo.
No, exactly.
I mean, you could do that. They will look at you.
You're gonna get some strange looks.
And also the people in the back of the line will look at you and it's like,
yeah, they're gonna be like, "Okay,
what's that foreigner doing?
Yeah.
Here, you could be the only person in the shop, and they're the ones actively trying to talk to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true.
So I speak my broken Japanese to them, because we don't know English.
Okay, so let's move on to junior high school.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you just came to Japan in
Yeah.
April, right? So,
I mean, I don't have a comparison, but it's kind of similar to what you said about the fact that you're working with kids and it feels great, because I've never done a job that's working with people as such.
Yeah.
So it's just so nice to be like part of something.
Mm.
You feel like you're doing something for people and they're actually taking it on.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't do as much preparation. I tend to work on like one or two things for something next week or the week after, and the rest is from the books.
Yeah.
So I get to do a bit of my own preparations and stuff. So I get more time to work on it as well. So I can spend a while working on this, say, lesson that I've got planned and do some nice artwork for it, make some nice worksheets, and then it comes over next week and it's like I get to do my own thing.
Yeah, definitely. That's, I think, an easy difference between elementary school and junior high school is the whole aspect of how much control you have over your curriculum and your lessons and your materials and things like that. In junior high school, it's a lot more. The JTE has the control, I think, in junior high school.
So there's a couple of different types of teachers, even in my school. I've got 6 teachers, and 2 of them like me to stand at the front and repeat the booklet, then repeat some words and the new words in the booklet.
Please repeat after me. Repeat after me.
And then I get to stand there for 10 minutes, and then half the time, you know, it's just work, so I go around just looking at the kids' work, helping them with any corrections. So I don't do a lot of my own stuff with those teachers. And I've got the other teachers that is half that and half like to play some games, like I'll roll the dice and ask questions before they can sit down at the start, and just stuff like that. So I get a nice mix. I mean, I'm not going to say it's the same for every school, because from everything I've heard at meetings with ALTs and everything, mine's actually a very good school, and I'm very lucky to have it. But I get a nice mix of get to do stuff, get to have a breather and not do stuff. Some days I'll not need to do much at all and just look at the booklet and smile to the kids and say hello when I walk past them.
I mean, I guess that's a topic for another time, like the different kinds of teachers and you know, like actually teach the English classes, right? I mean, I think that's a wholly different topic.
We could speak forever about that type of
but
stuff.
Junior high school, I think it's also great. I mean, it's right in the middle of senior high school and elementary school. So the kids are still, especially like first grade, they still have like that cute side from elementary school. And I
actually wanted to ask, because going from like elementary school, once students start getting to, you know, 6th grade, they start to become kind of teenagers, and you can definitely notice this. So in junior high school, what's it like? How's that transition?
Okay, it's actually pretty nice of you to ask this. So the thing is, you know, 5th, 6th grade here elementary school in Japan, that's when the kids are like when they turn 10, 11, right? 12?
12.
And 11, 12, right? Some kids maybe 10, right? So the thing is, like, they are, you know, at the top of the elementary school, and they will start behaving like that. I mean, they understand the workings of the elementary school, and they get to own the playground,
this is
right?
Definitely true,
and you can see that, right? And especially if it doesn't start at 5th grade, 6th grade, it will definitely start. And depending on elementary school, I mean, I taught at 3 elementary schools. One in the elementary school, they were already talking about like who's dating who, right? Who likes who. And the other school, elementary school, there was nothing like that at all, right? It can depend, but they're still going to that mature phase, right? And they will also be maybe less interested in you because they've seen a few LTs by that time, right? There are rare schools where the same LT has been teaching at that elementary school for several years, right? And even if that's the case, even if they did like you in the past, but once they turn 6th grade, they kind of turn, you know, like they lose interest.
They start to think that they're very cool. This is the thing, and it's not cool to like a teacher. You know, we've all been there in school. I mean, it's never cool to be like, oh, this teacher's so great. When you start to get to that age, you become aware of the opposite sex, or you start to kind of be aware of your actions. And you're like, should I say something here? Should I answer this question? Am I going to look nerdy? What's going to happen? So I get it. I get why they like that. But I just think I only experienced it for 6th grade. You guys experienced it for the whole of your 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade.
No, so the thing is, like, you know, 6th grade, they will start to be like that. And then when they go to junior high school, 1st grade, they see all these older kids behaving like kids. And then they feel like, oh, okay, so, well, I guess it's okay for me to be a kid as well, right? So you will actually have 1st graders to be really, really goofy again, much more like, you know, like not having a care in the world, right? Because 5th grade, 6th grade, elementary school, also like similar with troubles within the class, they become really, really self-conscious about how they look in class, how they look, how they appear to their friends, what kind of reputation they have in class, Junior high school, because it's also a mix of different elementary schools usually, they stop caring.
Okay, that's
First grade, there's like a reset, and it's pretty healthy.
Yeah.
And there are times when I think they should go to junior high school a little earlier.
Just to get that reset.
Yeah, just to get that reset, just to be kids again for a little faster.
Yeah.
So I think maybe 6th grade, they should maybe move that to junior high school. And 2nd grade, it's a good balance, so they get used to the school. And 3rd grade is actually when they may start getting unruly.
Yeah, so they start to actually be a little more.
Yeah, so 2nd grade, junior high school, they will start like testing the limits of what they can do, what's allowed, right?
Yeah.
And because junior high school is in general not as strict as elementary school, so the kids, they will notice that, and then they will start taking advantage of it, right? So 3rd grade, some of the kids may get a grip again and say, okay, this is not really how I want to do things, right? But you will also have a few kids who are like, okay, I don't need to do anything that a teacher tells me to.
No, of course.
Right. And, I think 2nd, 3rd grade is when the kids prioritize their friends over everything.
Really?
That's like the moment, like no matter naughty kids, good kids, but it's all about their friends.
Yeah.
It's all about their friends, and because it's puberty, sometimes you have kids, starting to like the other sex, getting conscious about it. Also, like sex education starts junior high school.
Yeah.
So it's not really a regular thing. It's not really like for a few weeks. I think it's just at most like some kind of like seminar, they will invite some kind of specialist, I think nurses from hospital or something, and then we'll do like educational stuff. And then they have that seminar like for 1st grade, 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 3 times, and the contents will be different each time, I guess.
Of course.
But I think like at most they will talk about that kind of stuff like for maybe a year.
Okay, so
a week, what I'm saying. A week.
It's all good. So I think, as far as I understand it, then they kind of get more into their childish behavior in 1st and 2nd grade, trying to explore boundaries. But that's good to hear. I'm glad that they actually become more enthusiastic about being kids again. So that's something that makes me happy to know. But another question that I have for like junior high school, how has the expectations kind of shifted? Because I mean, in elementary school, English as a subject, it's there, but it's not really super important. It's not maths, it's not Japanese. English is, So in junior high school, how are those expectations handled? Because you're as an ALT, you kind of like on the front lines of this. So how do you guys feel about the increase in responsibility with English?
Care to answer?
I can't really compare, but they are tested on it quite frequently, so they do know that they have to try harder.
Okay.
From what it sounds like anyway.
Yeah.
But it's in my school, I only actually see them 1 in 4 English lessons.
Okay.
So I think my lesson is more of the relief lesson, and they work a lot harder in the ones where I don't have them.
Okay, that's very interesting. And is it the same for you, Julian?
Yeah. But the thing is, like, if you go into that topic, I think that's also a completely different topic. I mean, how the English classes, how the subject has changed. But I think just in general, it's like Japan is they want to they want to increase the English classes because they want to improve the
proficiency for business.
General proficiency of the kids. Well, especially I think the official reason is 2020 Olympics, Tokyo. Yeah. Right? But they will still try to push English beyond that as well.
No, of course.
The thing is that the way they do it, the way they go about it is not really great, because the government, they don't really want to invest more money into education. but they still expect the schools to, you know, kind of
up the results from that.
Yeah, up the results from, I don't know, nothing.
Yeah.
So the changes, the biggest changes, for example, like officially English before elementary school, the goal of English was to get the kids familiar with English and also to get them enthusiastic about English.
Yeah,
because that's a huge problem in Japan. Well, it's not just English, but in English, junior high school, a lot of the kids there are not interested in learning English.
Yeah.
They hate it, right? Because they see no reason to study English. And probably that's a mystery to you, but you know, Japan is like an island. There's like there are no other countries around it, and there are not that many foreigners in Japan. So they don't really see any reason for that. And you know, like Japan's culture, they have so many things. They have their own video games, they have their own comics, they have their manga, right? Anime.
Movies,
I mean, there's no reason for them to ever like see why should I study English.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I mean, you can feel that from the children. I mean, even as a personal experience, if you go around Japan to find English-speaking people, it's not exactly the simplest task. So I get why the kids feel like there's no point to learning the subject. But yeah, you definitely right there with the whole enthusiasm being an important part for elementary school.
Yeah, so that's one thing that actually the Ministry of Education actually got right? MEXT, Ministry of Education. I don't know what XT stands for, but
Sports
that's one.
And training. Or
But that's one thing that they actually got right. So one thing that they also got right is that they try to tackle that problem with lower age children, with younger children, right?
Yeah.
And it's true. I mean, elementary school kids, 3rd grade, you start English classes, they have a lot of fun with it. For 1st grade also, right?
Yeah.
They just enjoy it, and they don't really go about like, oh, I don't want to study English, or right? So that's great. But now because they want to improve that, they just up the number of English lessons every week, and they've introduced like a textbook. So the textbook used to be, you know, like just like a companion, right?
Yeah.
So you would go through it, but you were not like, you didn't have to force all kids through every lesson, and you wouldn't get like a huge vocabulary list. They would have to study. So you had the ALTs in elementary school, even though it was still called ALTs, they were actually still the main teachers. Also because all elementary school teachers in Japan, they are not required to be able to teach English. Right? So you have no specialists, so they are not confident in actually doing anything in English, except for some people who are actually good at English. But the thing is like, so they had a lot of freedom, which was great because many LTs, they are actually quite enthusiastic about teaching elementary school kids. And if they're the main teachers, they will have that motivation and they will get a lot of that back. Right? It's really good. But the things, they're taking that away. So they're sending JTEs, right, Japanese teachers of English to elementary schools and be the main teacher there and have the ALTs just be ALTs, just assistants, right? It's not going to work. It's not going to be pretty, I think. So they have vocabulary lists for lessons in each textbook as well. And then next year they will start testing the students, grading the students. Is that early? I would say yes.
I think, you know, I get why they want to make it a more important subject, but they're going about it the wrong way. Like you say, I think enthusiasm is a big part for learning a language, especially here in Japan. To learn English, enthusiasm is key, because if your students like the stuff that you're teaching, you'll see the complete difference in how they actually approach the lessons and how they approach the materials that you've created for them. If you go out there now, you're making it into the serious subject that they're going to have to study for, it's just going to dampen that enthusiasm. And by the time they get to junior high school, they must probably going to be so tired of the damn subject. And especially if you have a drab teacher, I mean, if you don't have someone that's, I don't know, an ALT is interesting too, because being from a different country, you bring a little bit of your own culture to the whole experience, and to have that is interesting and exciting for the kids. You know, they're like, oh, here's this guy with all of these different stories and different ways of talking, and it's just interesting for them. But if it's just another Japanese teacher that's teaching them straight from the textbook, I definitely think that won't work.
Yeah, and I mean not even good. Okay, but I mean that's another topic as well. But so for example, junior high school, what is great? Well, depending on how you see it. So for example, they have school clubs in Japan, right? And school clubs in Japan start junior high school, senior high school, right? So you don't have school clubs in elementary school, but they have so-called club teams, right? So these club teams are actually teams organized from the city or from the village or whatever, right? And they're not really part of any school, right? So children from different schools can join together in one club team, right? So you still have club teams for higher ages as well, but junior high school schools will have school clubs with sports clubs as well, and they are actually bound. They are actually part of the school, and the club activities, even if it's like a basketball club or just track and field or just computer club, it's part of the school and also part of classes. So they're not, if you opt to join, I mean they're still optional, but if you opt to join one of the clubs, it's basically still school for you. You cannot just leave the clubs like you want and you have to show up to the club activities, right? And you will get in a lot of trouble if you don't, right?
Even for the teachers, or are you talking about students here?
Students.
Okay.
But I mean for the teachers. Okay, the teachers have to show up, or else,
of course.
Right? So clubs, they have club advisors who are chosen from the teachers at the school, and it's usually super low pay or just completely unpaid. Right? I mean they get maybe 2,000 yen for a month or something, which is
really?
like $20.
Yeah, that's
and but I mean the school, they have the school budget for each club, right? And depending, so for example, richer schools, they have a lot of budget for their teams, right? So you can see, of course, I mean the better the team, the more famous the team is. I mean if you have a school that is reputable for having a national class baseball team, you can expect the school, and even if the school lacks it, to expect the local board of education to give that school a lot of funds for that club.
Okay,
right?
So club activities are the part of junior high school that's great for you.
And so that's the thing, just for the students. For you as an ALT, it means, I mean, you can, because you're also part of the school, you can visit any club that you want. Right? So participating is a different thing. Participating, you will need to ask permission from the teachers. And of course, if it's, for example, like I said, if it's a really good baseball team or something like that, you're not going to be able to participate. I mean, if you are like a proven, like a baseball coach, if you were a baseball coach in your own country, or even like a baseball player, you can, and I mean, the club advisor, you still have to get his permission, but they might actually, want you to teach the kids something, right? And I mean, that can be great, but usually just expect to be a guest, right? And but I mean, like art club, computer club, I mean, there's a lot around, right? And if you participate, I mean, art club, it's clear that you can participate. I mean, everyone's doing their own drawings, right? It can be great, and but it also depends. Like if you have no interest, if none of the clubs are part of something that interests you, then it's just just nothing.
Well, it's good to just go around and say hi. During club times.
Definitely.
I mean, it gives you an opportunity to bond more with the students, more with the kids. Even especially if you, they have a lot of like school tournaments, like regional and so local. And if you join if you go to those tournaments and cheer for the team, or just watch them play, or just then like you have more opportunities to bond with the kids.
Yeah.
So that's something that can be nice, but you can also completely just ignore it.
Yeah.
Right. And it's not gonna be like bad for you. So I think elementary school, they may not have clubs, but a lot of kids, because their parents are still at work, they stay at school until a certain time, until evening, when the parents will come and pick them up. So ALTs, you can also like stay at the school and play more with the kids, right? But it's still not the same, because it's just playing with elementary school kids. And club activities, you will see junior high school, you will actually see like teenagers learning how to do that sport, or just track and field, learning how to be an athlete, because depending, some areas you will have like they have done that since elementary school already, right? But you will also have, depending on the club and the kids and the area, but you will also have like complete amateurs. You will have like kids who have like no experience in basketball or volleyball whatsoever, and then they will start that. And if you are, for example, new to volleyball, you've never done it, or you're a complete beginner, and you have like beginners at your school as well, you can go there and you can actually learn with the other kids.
Okay.
Right? So I think that's cool.